Yo, welcome to the show. Gather round, listen close. We got George, Brock, and J.A. bringing you the most NFL podcast. It's about to go down. Three amigos ready to run this town. Welcome to the Ball Studio, where the fun begins. George, Brock, and Jay talking NFL with their friends. So grab a drink, sit back, let's dive into the show. The Ball Studio, fam, we're ready to go. Let's go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Vault Studio NFL podcast. I am your new introduction host, J.A. We've had a bit of a reshuffle in the studio. Brock broke his legs, we had to drag him out the back and put him down like a good racehorse. But
it doesn't win.
It
was a tough call, but it needed to be done.
Hey, someone had to do it. And you know what? George put his hand up immediately. He was like, I'll shoot him.
Hey, that's how much I love him.
Yes, true. No, but with all seriousness, I've got obviously Georgie boy and Scotty here. Brock is still here. I'll unmute him so he can say g'day. He's over. He's now producer Brocky. How are you, big fella?
How are we? How we going, lads?
So Brock he's off the camera, but we've decided that we needed to ramp up a bit of the production value of the podcast, and the best way of doing that
was not cutting it.
Was getting yes, very true.
Look, your skills lie elsewhere.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yes, from
And
the
Brock
videos
is
on his
perfectly
phone,
suited for that role. His skills are more than abundant for it.
We actually need to pay him.
We needed someone with the ability to operate a computer, and even though I've owned a computer my entire life, I didn't quite cut it. It was a tough thing for me to come to
Not
terms
surprising, unless it's Call of Duty or
with. Even then, I don't think I'm that good at it. So yeah, the show will continue the same for us. Obviously, Scotty's come on as a full timer.
shout out to Scotty and shout out to Brocky.
And then Brocky will be dropping some pretty cool stuff as we move forward.
Fact checking us like he.
Yes, that's his main goal is to just fact check and destroy mainly George whenever he brings up dumb shit.
I've already started taking receipts for next year as well, boys.
I thought your receipts already. I'm like, we're a minute into the show.
Please do. I'll welcome all the fact checking. I'll welcome all the receipts.
I've already started a screenshot gallery.
So tonight we're doing our awards show. We like waiting till the end of the season because I think there's just too much that goes on during the playoffs and stuff to do an award show.
Playoffs, Super Bowl. Yeah, there's a bit going on.
There's a bit going on. So we like to do it. We'll go through all the awards that were given out. We did it as we all voted, all four of us. No one stress. I am not going to try and count it out live on the show this year because it went. I think it went too well last season.
Yeah. It definitely went too well.
And we gained too many fans from how good I am at counting.
I think we lost about 100 fans just having strokes listening to you try and count.
Like I had 7 autistic organizations messaging me saying, do you need some extra learning?
We'd like you to come join our organization.
Because let's just say counting wasn't my strong suit. Everyone who listened to that show is actually
nodding and laughing in agreement.
It is. Yeah, go back and listen to it last year and have a bit of a laugh.
Actually, please don't. Let's just strike it from the record, please.
At the end of this YouTube video, it'll be there ready for you to watch.
Good boy. All right, let's start us off, Brocky. What's the first award we're hitting up?
We're going to start with the Kim Kardashian Award, the Comeback Player of the Year.
Shout out.
Very good. So what we thought we'd do, we'll go around. We all voted 3, 2, 1. 3 being the most votes, 1 being the least. And then they've all been tallied and we've got an ultimate winner out of the 4 of us. I'll start with mine for comeback.
I just want to talk about this award for a sec.
Yeah.
Because I posted this in the chat and no one gave me an answer. What is the actual fucking criteria for this award?
There isn't a criteria.
Is there anything written down?
No, it is
anything
people,
anywhere.
It is people who have overcome adversity during the last season.
So
that's all it says.
Is it adversity just like I was shit last year and now I'm not?
It can be injury. I was shit. It can be they've been out of the league for 5 years and then came back. It's just someone. There's no injury. Like you can miss a game and you're eligible. Like you don't have to miss any games. You don't have to be injured. You don't have to be crap.
Or you could be like a third string player thrusted into a starting role.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So there's literally no genuine criteria for it. There's no like you have to be injured for this many games to be eligible.
Right. That's what I was asking. Like how many games you have to miss or whatever. Like I don't know.
Which they really should put some criteria on because the way I look at it as if the guy hasn't been a starter in the previous season or previous couple of seasons and then develops into a really good player, he's very eligible. I would think you would have to miss more than 75% of the season from an injury.
Right, like a long-term
to be eligible
injury.
to it. Like if Aaron Rodgers had an awesome year this year, he would have been eligible because he missed the whole last year before,
sure.
Right? That's the sort of guy I think he goes to.
I just want to bring up they started this year. They actually have done a criteria.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not really criteria. It's emphasis on players coming back from illness, physical injury or other circumstance lead to him missing playing time the previous season.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
So that's going to be the main
Williams from
emphasis.
Detroit for gambling could have been one.
Yes. Definitely could have.
So not so much you were shit and now you're good, more so you missed games and you've come back and played to a high level. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And it's a very loose criteria. So again,
It's about as
very,
loose as it gets.
very loose when it comes to awards.
I
Do you want
feel
me
like
to start
we've
with
spent-
mine?
Please.
I had number one. I had J.K. Dobbins. Horrendous run of injuries.
Mhm.
Played almost every game this season for the Chargers. He wasn't a barn burner. He wasn't amazing, but just to see him back on the park and
Yeah.
playing a season
Playing well.
was
yeah.
important. And being a starter for a playoff team, I think
Yep.
that was a good thing.
Had a pretty good stretch.
Yeah, I had DeMar Hamlin as 2. I'm like, he died on the field 2 years ago. He played 3 snaps last year, and they were absolutely terrible. And
Actually
then,
gave up 2 penalties and a touchdown or something, didn't he?
yeah, and then this season he came back and
Was good.
was borderline Pro Bowl player,
Yeah,
like just a genuine starter. Like any team would have him as a starter in the league, that sort of guy.
Sure.
So I think that was good. I gave him the 2 votes, but my 3 votes went to Sam Darnold. I
Sure.
just think the level. If you'd never watched football before and watched him this year, you at points would have thought he was the best player in the NFL, best quarterback in the NFL at some points in this season.
Mm.
So I had him as 3. Scotty, who'd you have?
I had the same as you, so I had 1 Dobbins, same reasons you said.
Yep.
2 I had Darnold,
Oh,
and 3 I had Burrow.
oh, okay, all right.
I just he missed a lot of the time, and he was an MVP candidate.
How many games did he miss?
7
Okay.
games last year.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, like I'm not against it. I just think
And he
that-
was also playing hurt. He probably should have missed more at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because
true.
it took him
Through
3 or 4
injury,
weeks to sort
and
of
then
get
he had
going.
a
Yeah.
little patch, and then was out for the year. But yeah, oh look, it's a crap award.
It is. It's not the best. It's not my favorite award, to be fair.
So
When it's genuine, it's good. Like when Adrian Peterson blew his knee out and then came back
Mm.
next year and rushed for 2,000 yards, that was a genuine like comeback play.
Comeback
Like that
story,
was
yeah.
outstanding. Like
Mm.
so. That's what I think. That's what the spirit of it is. That's why I had Darnold, because I think it's more in the spirit of
Yeah.
the award.
That's fair.
So
Who'd you have,
I gave
George?
1 vote to Christian Gonzalez, a cornerback from
That's
from
good.
the Patriots.
That's fair. Yep.
He missed, I think, half a dozen games
Yeah, he missed a lot last year.
last year.
After coming on,
back.
he would have been defensive rookie of the
Rookie
year
of the
last
year.
year.
He had
if
a really,
played the whole
really
year.
good,
Yeah.
really good rookie season. He had a solid season again this year.
Yep.
I gave the 2 to DeMar Hamlin, and again I gave the 3 votes to Sam Darnold purely because of the contrasting level of play from one season to another is too hard to ignore.
Yeah, outrageous. Brocky, who'd you have?
So I went with where am I? I had 1 to Joe Burrow, same reason as JA, missed 7 games. He went 5-5 in those games, so he was definitely very injured.
Can't even fact check.
Meant to Scotty. I hate Burrow. Beautiful son of a bitch.
Fuck Scotty. Yeah, so yeah, he missed
Whoa.
7 games. He was 5-5 in those games that he did play, so he was a little injured and banged up for those 5. I had 2 to Sam Darnold, simply the fact he was seeing ghost 5-6 years ago. He's a still young player, so he's actually coming a long way back, and he came back from the Panthers, so that's a pretty good comeback.
Honestly, that's worth the award just for that. Just
100%
escaping the Panthers is worth an award. I
100%.
agree with you, Brock.
And I had 3 for DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah,
I
fair.
simply think the fact that everyone thought he should have won it last year. He didn't play last year. This year he actually played. He was a genuine starter on that Bills defense, and they really relied on him. So I reckon he was the comeback player of the year in my book. So 3
Pretty-
to
Pretty hard to
Okay,
argue with
man.
that for Hamlin, actually.
Yeah, it's
pretty hard to
I
argue.
just thought he wasn't eligible because he was eligible last year.
But again, there's no eligibility
I know,
for it.
it's-
Like,
yeah.
yeah, he almost shouldn't have been eligible last year. That's
No.
the argument. Like,
Yeah.
he was such. I don't like this. Sounds mean, but he was such a bad football player last year. Like everyone was like, he's only on the roster because of what happened to him.
Yeah,
the year
yeah,
before.
True.
And that's not when you want to win an award because they just kept you on a roster because you literally died on the
And
field.
good on the Bills for keeping the faith and keeping him
100%.
around because now he's a good player.
When they got rid of 2 like Pro Bowl caliber in Micah Hyde and Hoyer,
Mm.
and everyone was like, "What? You're gonna have Hamlin as your starter?" And it ended up being better than both of them
Yeah.
this season. So, Brocky, who won it?
So the winner was, let me just get the graphic up. So if you do want to see all the graphics, make sure you jump on the YouTube or the Spotify. JA didn't shout that out at the start of the show.
Sorry, guys, my bad.
Look at the TikToks as well. JA is doing big work. We had I'm seeing go Sam Darnold the winner of the Vault Studio comeback player of the year this year.
Pretty fair.
Oh,
Pretty fair winner.
Yep.
as I said, his play was unbelievable.
He was
Like, he
an
changed the
MVP.
narrative of his career.
He was in MVP conversations
Yes.
throughout portions of the year.
Yeah, like if it wasn't to the kind of awful end of the year, the game against Detroit and the playoff game, he was pretty spectacular
He's-
most of the year.
If you take out those 2 games, the rest of his season was flawless.
yes, that's
Basically.
very fair.
what
and
were
I
they?
think that he's earned
14
himself a
and
ton of money.
14 win team, I think
Yeah.
they were.
The,
14-3 or 14-2.
The last
14,
seven,
I think they were 14-3.
the last 7 winners of this award are all quarterbacks as well, and Joe Burrow's won it twice now
Yeah.
as well for the
But he
NFL.
did tear his ACL.
Yeah, the first time he won it was fair because that was after his rookie year. Yeah? He tore his ACL in his rookie year.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was fair because he hadn't got runs on the board yet, if that makes sense. It was kind of like his first
There's no
great
expectation.
performance. Yeah, it was lower expectations. But I would have had no problem with Hamlin. I'd have no problem with Darnold. And in fact, like Joe Burrow won the league award for it. I don't know. I just think it was a bit of a soft award for them. I think Darnold or Hamlin were in the spirit of what the award's meant to be. I think that was the right call.
Mm.
And I think they went away from this. Like, Joe Burrow doesn't want to win his second comeback player of the year when he could have, if they'd won 2 more games, he's probably MVP.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He's definitely in the chat. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Brocky, what's our next one? Hit us with it.
Next up, we have Coach of the Year. I'm going to lead us off with this one, boys.
Ooh.
All right, hit us with it.
I had Jim
I like
Harbaugh
how take
as
charge he is.
for 1 vote. Similar to the fact, yes, he's coming into a shit organization in the Chargers. That's my opinion on the Chargers
Yeah.
in general. Poorly ran, poorly owned.
Paulie
So to
Owens
come
is
into
correct.
that after college as well, everyone thought he was going to be somewhat 3 and done in the NFL again. I think he's a big chance of winning this a couple more times as well, this award. I got Dan Quinn for number 2. Similar to the fact he was the driver of the Daniels pick as well. So I do like that one.
Yep.
And I had 3 votes. Dan Campbell. Everything went wrong for him this year with the injuries. If they don't have those injuries, they probably beat Eagles in the NFC Championship game. They didn't make it, as George has noted and said.
No, it's
But
fair.
Dan
It's fair.
Campbell was
We'll
an
never know.
absolute joke, and everyone wants to play for Dan Campbell as well. So that's why I reckon he's the coach of the year in my books.
Yeah. Scotty, who'd you have?
I had Dan Quinn 1 vote, just taking a poverty franchise to the playoffs, to the NFC Championship game with the rookie. That's a huge task, especially with the roster turnover and all the skeletons in the closet there to turn that franchise around. I think that's
Tough
a huge
division
effort.
too.
2 votes I had Kevin O'Connell. Just no one expected anything from the Vikings, and he turned Sam Darnold around. Offense was pretty good offense throughout the whole year. They could beat you in a few different ways, and I think a lot of that came from coaching. And 3 votes, Dan Campbell. Just there was high expectations. They met those expectations, even though they were severely injured, and probably, if you look at the body of work, they were probably a 9-win team with all
with
the
the
injuries
injuries.
and all of that. But somehow they were the number 1 seed, and
Well, I've got a snap. I have exactly the same as Scotty, which is
there we go.
hopefully doesn't become a trend.
Unsurprising.
Yeah, I had Dan Quinn 1, Kevin O'Connell 2, and Dan Campbell. This is where this award I feel get George first, and I want to give my opinion on this award.
So I gave 1 vote to Sean Payton.
That's
Yeah?
good.
Yep.
Big turnaround, and you see the progression of Bo Nix from when he from training camp to a playoff game.
Yep.
In 1 season, and just that's all Sean Payton.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
care what anyone says.
I agree.
Oh,
And-
it was tough to leave him off the list.
Yeah,
it was very
so-
hard. Yeah.
And he's basically turned that and considering how much dead cap they're paying and all that, he's turned around that franchise. Like I spoke about it in our Vault comments as well. Like Broncos, this is the worst Broncos team you're going to see. They're only going to get better from
He's
here.
brought life to a franchise that was
Like
dead.
in the water.
Yeah, after
So,
Russell Wilson
Give him
debacle.
another
Yeah.
maybe off season or 2 to build that team and build that roster how he wants it. They're going to be a perennial playoff team going forward. I'm telling you now.
Yep.
Because it's all Sean Payton.
The AFC West is going to be wild.
That's what I said. I said Chiefs are going to be. We'll talk about it obviously as
Yeah.
we go along, but Chiefs are going to be struggling to win that division going forward because the Chargers are getting better, Broncos are getting better, and as far as I'm concerned, the Chiefs are dropping off with their.
Raiders can't get worse.
The Raiders can't get any worse. They can't. And Tom Brady's in the building now,
Yeah.
so he's bringing a little bit of like something to them.
Yeah.
So he'll be in charge of football operations there
And Pete Carroll, nothing
soon
to
enough.
say
Yeah, exactly. So, and I gave 2 votes to Kevin O'Connell. Again, no one expected anything of the Vikings. 14-win team. Sam Darnold, MVP candidate. Like a lot of that has to be the coaching. And I gave 3 votes to Dan Quinn because you spoke on it earlier too, but they won 4 games last year.
Yeah.
They were the second pick in the draft.
Yep.
And they went from 4 games and second pick to NFC Championship game in 1 year. That's fucking unreal. Like, as far as I'm concerned, that's all coaching.
Like, what more do you want from it?
Yep.
But especially when you look at the level of talent on that roster, it's all coaching. It's all coaching. And Brock said it right too. He was instrumental in them picking Daniels. So you got to give him credit for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give him credit for it. Obviously, I'm assuming Dan Campbell won this with three voters.
9,
Rocky boy,
Yeah.
Yes, Dan Campbell did win this. He had 7 votes.
seven. Did you only give him 2?
I only gave.
You know what? I'm not going to count. Don't let me count.
Who
He
came,
had 7
who came
votes.
second, please, bro? Or you didn't do
let
it?
me
Kevin
scroll
O'Connell.
down to that. It was, where is that? Kevin O'Connell.
Excellent.
And this is I think that the coach of the year award gets lost sometimes by, and this isn't a criticism of like a guy like Dan Quinn. Obviously had great success this year, but you look at guys in the past, Brian Dable,
Yep.
Garrett won one with the Cowboys. The Stefanskis won it twice because the Browns were crap and then were decent.
Good, yeah.
I feel like, and Dan Campbell's probably a bit of an outlier because he did take them to an NFC Championship game. He had some success along the way, but there are teams that get a relatively easy schedule. They don't need to do a ton of improvement to actually win a few more games,
Sure.
but they just play some crappier teams. A bit of luck goes their way sometimes as well, and that's where I think the coach, like Bill Belichick's never won a Coach of the Year award, which is outrageous to me. I think Andy Reid's won one.
Bill Belichick's got 3 of them.
Has he really?
Yeah.
I take it back then. Bill
03,
Belichick's got 3.
07, 2010.
Oh, so when he first started, and then 2010 when they were crap, and then rebooted.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, it goes to like the teams that reboot,
Right.
and I think sometimes that's why I'm glad. Like Dan Campbell, he
Who
has
won it?
Kevin O'Connell,
Kevin
won it,
O'Connell.
which is fair because he's
Yeah.
been there for a few years now, and they've been
To be
good.
honest, apart from the MVP, I have no idea who won.
Yeah, there's a few.
Kevin O'Connell won it. It was somewhat meant to be a rebuild year for him this year.
Yes,
Yeah.
They
definitely.
drafted a new quarterback that did his knee, and they just got Sam Darnold and off the street.
As
Yes.
a bridge quarterback. best case
Realistically,
scenario.
yeah.
and it so often goes to that first year coach that gets they make the playoffs, and then they're like, oh, they won 4 games the year before, and now they're a playoff team.
Mm.
And I just feel like it's maybe like a guy like Dan Campbell gets swept to the side because like the year he turned them around, they didn't make the playoffs because they started at like 1-7
Yeah.
Right.
and then
right.
won their last 8 games.
Yep.
But he didn't win it because they weren't a playoff team. So it's like, oh, we can't give it to him because they didn't win it.
Yeah.
So he missed that rejuvenation year. And then the next year they were pretty good, but not amazing. And they made the playoffs. But then this year they were like, oh, the expectation's high. They're meant to be good.
Mm.
Whereas I think what the Lions and what he as a coach had to overcome this year and motivate his players with the sheer, like just detrimental amount of injuries. I don't think many coaches would have survived that this year.
Sure.
And that's why I think that's why
You got to give a lot of credit to the coordinators, though. They had
That's true.
pretty top,
And he's-
But that's
top
for
level
every coach.
coordinators.
should
Yeah,
have-
yeah.
have
and he's lost both of them now, which is going to be again a new arc for him. He's going to have to learn how to bring in some more coordinators.
I'm not sure how they're going to go this year.
It'd be
I think they're going to.
very interesting.
So Dan Campbell's
They're gonna drop off.
Detroit record is 39-28.
Yeah, and didn't he lose almost every game his first year?
He went 3-13 in
Yeah.
his first year at Detroit.
And then what was his second year?
I think it was.
Second year was 9-8.
Yeah.
No, but they lost like 7 of their first 8 games.
Yeah, and that last game of the
Yeah.
season, they knocked out the Packers.
Yeah, they
2023,
wiped them out.
12-5, and 2024 he went 15-2.
15, yeah.
So
I feel like he missed his flowers, and I just felt like this year with
Fair.
what he went through, he deserved it. But
Fair.
again, no hate to Dan Quinn. I think he's, and this is the benefit of doing
Deserving.
these awards after the playoffs as well, that you can get a bit of that playoff bias as well,
Sure.
which you should. Like season awards should include some playoff stuff too.
Well, yeah, the playoffs are the most important. That's what everyone plays
Like,
for.
it
to make
should
the playoffs.
include that stuff more. So, all right, Brocky, what do we got next, big guy?
let me just bring up the photo of our winner, Dan Campbell. With kneecaps too. Make sure you eat it up.
That is without a doubt the best thing I've fucking seen in a fucking
Oh, that's the thing. Like
while.
his opening speech, I can remember. If we went back to the podcast and got some receipts when
You
he
were-
got hired, I would have flamed him.
You did flame me.
I reckon
I remember
flamed
listening
him,
to it and,
And
like
then-
laughing.
and I've never been more wrong. Because he was
crying in his press
genuine.
conference.
Yeah, he did. He cried,
in an
He cried.
oversized suit.
and that's why when Aaron Glenn did it this year, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hold fire.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold fire on this guy and let us see how he goes. What do we got next, Brocky boy?
Defensive rookie of the year, Georgia boy. Give me yours.
Yes, sir. I like this assertive tone from Brock, by the way.
I'm not hard, but I'm
The
on my
ladies,
way.
the ladies
You're a
love it
little
too.
He's-
I've heard.
yeah, he's been doing it lately.
Yeah, yeah.
Get on with the show.
Sorry.
So- More. I'll give one vote to Jared Verse from the Rams. He had a fantastic rookie season and a really good playoffs as well.
Yep.
Was really solid in the playoffs. Gave even gave the Filio line fits, in the snow. Like he was just a really good player. He's going to be really good.
Yep.
I gave 2 votes to Cooper DeJean
The Great White Hope.
for obvious reasons. And I gave 3 votes to Quinyon Mitchell because to be a rookie and start every game at corner, which in my opinion is one of the hardest positions on the
100% it
field
is.
to play, especially as a rookie, and to start every game.
Yep.
That on its own is a win. But to play to the level that he played, he was playing at a Pro Bowl level as a rookie at corner. I had to give him the 3 votes. I know it's probably people might think that it's a bit of a homer pick, but when you break it down like that, at corner is very, very tough position.
Yeah, we had the same 3 guys, just a little bit around. I had Cooper, GWH, DeJean as my number 1 vote, just because when he started in the Eagles team, and it probably took him too long to put him in, he actually changed the build of that defense.
Yeah.
And it's not just because he was white. Like, I know it's a fun joke. He's actually a really, really good football
He's
player.
very good.
And he had a lot of doubts about him. I would say the fact that he was white probably hurt him when it came to the draft and that sort of stuff. If they were redrafting it now, there's no way he gets out of the first round.
Yeah, but that's a lot of that's like Howie spotting, just spotting talent.
100%.
Yep.
100%. So I had him as 1. I had Jared versus 2. Again, same reasons. He just didn't quite have the numbers for me to be like, I know his pressure rate was great and all that sort of stuff, but he just didn't quite hit the numbers to be the 3 votes. And I had Quinny Mitchell.
His tape flashes, like he flashes on tape. Like he's going to be a really good player.
I think so too. And I had 3 Quinny Mitchell as well.
Yeah.
He didn't give up a touchdown all year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like he doesn't have to do anything. He played on top guys all the time.
He was playing on top guys every
He was
week.
very good all year. So that's why I had Scotty.
I've got a little bit different. So I've gone Brandon Fisk with 1 vote.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He was good too on the Rams. He was
To
really
get
good.
someone to anchor your D line like that, especially as a rookie,
Mm-hmm.
and his win rates and stuff like that against double teams as well is huge, which probably goes underneath the numbers a little bit. But I've got Great White Hope for 2. Just the versatility. I know you guys spoke on it, but he really solidified the Rams defense and gave them the versatility, which
The Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah.
That basically, like you said, turned him around and probably won him the Super Bowl.
I don't think we didn't start hitting our stride as a defense until he
started.
became a regular starter.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not saying he won them the Super Bowl, but I don't think they would have won it without him playing at that level.
No,
that he played at.
my point is that having him on the field gave them the versatility for the scheming and all of that sort of stuff, and the coverage he can do. He comes down on the hits.
Yep.
He just solidified half the field, which gave them they didn't have to blitz a 5th player.
Yep.
All of that sort of stuff. It all goes like in a parcel together.
Yeah,
But I
agreed.
think when you can almost say when he started playing at a good to decent level, the defense just switched.
Yeah,
over
I
straight
100% agree. And the tape proves it.
Yeah.
It proves it.
and 3 votes was Jared Verse. He was sensational.
Yep.
The one-on-one win rates, the pressures, the sacks, the against the run as well for a flashy D end was phenomenal numbers. So
The Rams have really hit on those 2 D linemen, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're going to be there for a while. And
They
And
got a
they hit on Kobe Turner last year as well.
Yeah.
Who I think he was Defensive Rookie of the Year last year.
I
Kobe
believe so. Yes.
Turner. No, he might have been second. I think Witherspoon was last year.
No, I think Witherspoon might have been second.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, he was in the conversation. He's a very good player
Yeah.
too. Look,
Yep.
it's you can quickly rebuild your team when you hit on 3 like quality
Game-wrecking.
defensive linemen
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
first couple of years.
Us, the Eagles won them a Super Bowl.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
All right,
Noel
Rocky.
Smith and John
Who are
Jones.
yours? And then give us the winner, big guy.
So where's my list gone? I had number 1, Chop Robinson.
He had a good
Chop. That was my pick for the
Hey.
start of the year.
Yeah.
He came on good. Only a pass rusher, but yeah, he's fun.
He got my vote for having a sick name. That's what he got my
Great
vote
name.
for. Great name.
Can't
Great
argue with
football
that.
name.
Major league name.
Great football name. I gave 2 to Jared Verse as well, and I gave 3 to the Great White Hope simply because he's not a safety. He's a cornerback that locks up your number 1.
Oh, does
That's
it
what
ever?
Jordan. That's what the Great White Hope is. And I'm just looking at quickly. I might have to do a recount here.
Oh no, don't do it live.
No, disregard. We have a winner. It is the Frog Slash Man, Jared Verse.
Was that the play where he face masked Darnold in the end zone and they didn't call it?
No. We don't worry about that.
Because that one was terrible. No, I said I have no issue with him being the winner. I think he's going to be an extremely good football player.
Mm.
And there's a lot of these rookies. You're looking if these guys are playing at this level, and a lot of them will have like a bit of a sophomore slump, but history tells us that if they're this good in their rookie year, they tend to not drop off from that. They might have 1 year where they fall, like they go back down to earth a little bit, but then history tells us they end up being, these are the guys in 3-4 years' time that are in the Pro Bowl every year. That you're saying, the Rams are built around Jared Verse. The Eagles have got a lockdown corner in Quinton Mitchell.
Yep.
Cooper DeJean's the greatest white sportsman in the history
Hang
of
on.
sport.
I've made a fool of myself.
Oh, no.
We do have a tie. The
Oh,
Great White Hope's in here.
we got a tie.
Both on 8 votes.
Oh, I love that.
Cooper DeJean.
He's a star. So I said, I think all those guys we've said have been really good, except for Chop Robinson. He's got a great name.
Hey, go Chop.
Pure pass rusher, the old chopper.
Go Chop.
All right, what's next, Brocky boy?
Next up, we have Offensive Rookie of the Year.
I'm so excited for this one. Can I go first?
Please.
All right. So I had one vote for Malik Neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
He I don't think he wasn't the most dynamic rookie, but he's just open all the time, sure hands, at over 100 catches, broke the rookie record, and then another guy broke it straight away afterwards.
There's only one problem.
He plays with the Giants, and that's why I think this is a real big character arc for me to even vote for him as a Giants supporter. So I think he was great. I had two. I had Jaden Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's easy to get like in a mirage from him because of the playoffs, and it was fantastic. And if you're Washington, you should love the fact that you've got this guy, right? But you look at his numbers for the year and the way he played most of the year, he wasn't that spectacular. Like, I think he was okay. I think he's going to be amazing, but I don't think he was spectacular. And I'm saying this because the guy who got my 3 vote was Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
And that's because he was legitimately the best tight end in football this year. He
Agreed.
wasn't like, I think Jaden Daniels, you could argue he's maybe just inside the top 10 of quarterbacks right now. Brock Bowers is the best tight end in football.
Yeah, there's no argument.
Like, everyone's like, he's the best tight end. He's so good. On a crappy team with no quarterbacks, a different quarterback almost every single week, an unproductive offense that traded away their other good player in Devontae Adams after week 5 or whatever it was, and he still dominated. Broke the reception record, broke the yards record, which has stood forever. I get quarterbacks are quarterbacks, but I just think his season was so far above every other rookie quarterback's play that he deserves that. That's my take.
Very good. Scotty?
I've got Brian Thomas for 1 vote.
He was outstanding.
He was so good this year.
Yep.
Just always open, makes the hard catches. Just had a very underrated rookie year. I had Brock Bowers too.
Yep.
Like you said, broke the record that it stood for 60 years or something. Phenomenal season, and like you said, the offense was in shambles all year. Had no quarterback, and that just shouts out to the talent that he's got. And for 3, I had Jaden Daniels because they won 2 games last year.
Yeah.
And it's not on their defense that they turned that team around. It's on their QB. So I think it was a safe bet there. But Jalen Daniels had a pretty phenomenal year as a quarterback.
Yeah, fair enough. Georgie, who you have?
I actually had the exact same as Scott.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas at 1. He was underrated season on a shit team.
Yep.
He's playing on a good team and he's an absolute stud.
Yeah.
I can't wait till he asks for a trade out of fucking Jacksonville. and neighbors will be asking for a trade out of the Giants soon enough too.
They've got the new head coach, Duval.
Oh, Jesus.
He'll actually turn things around. He's very good offensive.
Very good
coach.
OC. Yeah. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll hold fire on that,
Yeah.
but that's okay. 2 Brock Bowers for all the obvious reasons. And 3, I had to give it to Daniels because rookie QB, the turnaround and to make an NFC championship game with a rookie QB, like you just got to give it to him.
Yeah, fair enough. Rocky, give us yours and the award.
So I had 1 vote, Zesty Caleb Williams.
Oh, I don't
That's
mind
fair.
that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He played very well. He was on a very poor O-line helping him out. Yes, he got sacked a lot. Holds the ball a little bit too long, but there is definitely promise in that guy's cannon. I had 2 votes for...
Very
George.
zesty. Very zesty.
I got 2 votes for Brock Bowers, absolute jet. I wish I didn't trade him away mid-draft in my fantasy football team this year now. That really cooked me into my punishment this year.
That was a mistake.
That was a bad move by you, big dog.
Hey, I got a 12th round pick for it. It was good. And I had Jaden Daniels for 3 votes as well. He's incredible. Rookie rushing record. He's going to be unstoppable in a couple of years' time if he stays healthy and the FedEx field doesn't eat him up. and
True.
it gives us our winner with 11 votes.
Oh, I ruined his perfect.
Daniels.
I ruined his unanimous rookie of the year.
You cooked him.
Sorry, Jaden. My bad. I just like white tight ends. It's not my fault.
So Jaden Daniels, fantastic.
Who did he actually win it as well? Surely he did.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Surely.
I'm sure he did.
Yes, he definitely won it.
It was always
As-
going to go to the QB.
As I said,
Yeah,
I know
that's-
QBs get the flowers, and they're always going to get like.
He
put
did
on
play at a-
higher
he did
pedestal.
play at a pretty
He
good
He
level,
played at a
man.
great level. I just think that of all the rookies, Brock Powell, he was a first team All Pro. Brock
Yeah,
Powell.
yeah.
And I get it's always
that
going to be
because
really
also-
hard to outbeat a quarterback.
Is that because of the drop off on tight ends around the league as well, though?
Yeah, potentially. Like it said, it's a harder position to find top guys. Like there's more good, especially this year. There was more good rookie quarterbacks than we've almost ever seen.
Mm.
Yeah.
like almost every rookie that was in the first round was no one's
Decent.
worried about them going into next year.
Yep.
Other than McCarthy, just because we haven't seen him. That's
Yep.
the only concern you have with those first round picks. So,
True.
all right, Brock. I think we got go to defensive player of the year. This one's fun.
This is a fun one.
You start us, Brock.
So defensive player of the year, I had one vote to Hutchinson. The only thing that stopped him from winning this award this year from the AP was a broken leg. He would have
Yeah.
absolutely ran away with it. He's actually currently running again
I know.
4
it's
months
wild.
after breaking his leg, which is incredible. So he's going to be an absolute monster next year. I had 2 votes for Myles Garrett. That defense was terrible without him. He's a very good pass rusher. Myles Garrett stops the run as well. And I had 3 votes for PS2 as well. Simple for factors. The number one corner switches around every year. He's going to have it next year as well. He's an absolute stud on that defense in Denver.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think that's really good. I had Myles Garrett at 1 for the same reasons. I just thought he was, on a crappy team, just a real good performer.
He's going to look good in. He's going to look good in Philly Green.
Yeah,
next
can
year.
we just start calling him future Philadelphia Eagle, Myles Garrett?
He's going to look good in Philly
Um,
Green. I'll tell you what.
I had 2 votes. I gave 2 votes to Trey Hendrickson. It's not his fault. The rest of the defense sucked. He was as close to the most dominant defensive player in
He was.
football
He
this
was
year.
good. He had a really good
In
year.
fact, if the defense had been mildly good and they were a playoff team, he's probably
Winning this award. Yeah.
And then I had 3 votes PS2 as well for all the same reasons. That dude was so locked down. So like everything trends for him being the best defensive player in football. And I'm glad the NFL saw it the same way too, because he was outstanding. Scotty?
I have 1 vote, Myles Garrett. It was a bit of a drop off for his standard, but still a very good football season.
He's a very, very lofty standards.
Yes,
Fair enough.
well, that's not his fault.
Yeah,
but
fair.
I had 2 votes actually. Zach Bourne.
Yeah, fair enough.
He had a phenomenal year outside of the story and the narrative. Like his numbers. I can't remember. I think he was 3rd for tackles within 2 yards. So as soon as he makes the hit, the play's dead within 2 yards, which
yeah.
is super important against the run.
Yep.
Because you can get 110 tackles, and if they go for 5 or 6 yards, there's no point in making the tackle.
Yeah.
So he was very good in the tackle percentages there, and the coverage percentages.
Yeah,
as
very
well.
good in coverage. Yeah.
And
Had
then
a nice
I
pick in the
called
Super Bowl.
PS2 halfway through the year.
You did.
He was phenomenal, and I said that he should win it, and he won't go to a D end. And I should have backed myself in. Guys like that just don't lock down half a field. We haven't seen it for a long time. That's Revis, Sherman.
Yeah, it's the old Richard Sherman days. Yeah, where they
Yeah.
just wouldn't throw that.
The last DB to win Defensive Player of the Year was
Harris?
it was Gilmore.
Oh,
Stephon Gilmore when
yeah.
he was at the Patriots.
Yes, yeah.
So, all right, George, who you got?
I gave 1 vote to Zach Bourne.
Yep, it's fair.
Again, first team All Pro, off ball linebacker. He had a fantastic season considering where he was last year.
Yeah,
And it's great to hear that he's getting re-signed. as
that's
well.
all reports are 3 years, $42 million for the
Yeah,
Eagles.
that's-
Great signing.
That's cheap as chips. Him and
Yeah.
Kobe Dean are going to be giving everyone fits next year.
I agree.
I gave 2 to Trey Hendrickson. Again, he had a fantastic season. Led the league in sacks. He had a really good year. Again, the rest of the defense was terrible.
Yeah.
They really got to fix that defense up. Fucking hell. Come on. Seriously. Get your fucking acts together. Seriously. And yeah, 3 to PS2. To lock down half a field, Revis Island style. You got to give it to him. Simple as that.
Well, I don't want to count too early or count at all, but that would tell me that PS2 was the unanimous defensive
There we go.
player of the year.
Unanimous. Running
for the
away
boys.
with it.
I'm glad the NFL saw it this way too. I'm glad the voters saw it this way because often cornerbacks get lost because if they're not getting a ton of interceptions and that sort of stuff, no one notices them. I think the best cornerbacks are the ones that you talk about that you don't notice because it means they're doing their job really well.
Yep.
So I'm glad he got it. I'm happy for him.
Yeah, because his name doesn't get called, doesn't get any screen time because the
No.
ball's not going there. Exactly.
No. All right. What's we got the offensive player of the year now, Brocky. You start us off, mate.
Let me just get the ticker up there for everyone watching at home.
Boy, get on YouTube, everyone.
Sharp here, fucking.
In Eagles green too.
In Eagles green, we'll stick with the Eagles green until
Oh,
George
we're
says
basking.
He's going to flip off.
We're
Sirianni.
basking in that fucking post.
It's almost the last podcast for that.
Jalen Hurts bloody cut out,
Cut out.
scaring the crap out of me every time I walk into the room because I forget about him.
He's just aura. Even his cardboard cutouts got
Aura.
aura.
That towels, hand warmer's in the wrong spot, though, if you know what I mean. Brock, here's for
Jesus. I had one vote, Derrick Henry as well. Absolutely incredible year. Didn't get used as much as Tennessee Titans used him, but Derrick Henry was an outstanding recruit for the Ravens this year. I had 2 votes for Jamal Chase. Simply the fact if that defense could actually lock anyone up, the Cincy are in the playoffs, and he's a chance to be the offensive player of the year as well. And I had 3 votes for Saquon Barkley as well. Almost breaking the record. You got to give him over 2,000 yards. He would have had another 10 touchdowns if Jalen Hurts didn't snake him away the whole time.
another 15.
Just be another vulture on that team. So 3 votes to Barkley, and that kills me to say.
Why does it kill you to say that, Brock?
Because fuck the Eagles.
He's back on. He hates them now.
I hate the Eagles.
He gave you like a month of loving them, and you didn't accept it.
You
It's a
did not
short
accept
month.
it. I gave you
Why
my
do
love,
you hate
George.
the Eagles, Brock?
George, I gave you my love, and you turned me down. You said I wasn't an Eagles fan.
You broke his
Well,
heart.
you're not. You're not an Eagles
I
fan.
picked
You're a
the
Ravens
Eagles,
fan.
mate.
You broke his heart, big guy. We were one
It's
in all.
okay. It's not the first heart I've broken. It won't be the last, man.
I'll make sure I
Oh.
at least return that shirt as well.
He bought an Eagles shirt.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he loves them.
Oh,
You
that's
broke
cute.
his heart, man.
Why do you hate the Eagles, Brock?
It was for you, George. I bought it for you.
You broke his heart. He's been crying all week about it. I've had him on the phone at midnight.
That I don't believe.
He's like, "Oh, my ego won't catch up with me on Saturday, and and I hate the Eagles. George won't accept my love.
wow.
George, who are your votes?
We are off the rails here. I gave one vote to Brock Bowers.
Yeah, nice. I don't hate that.
He's got to be in that convo because, for all the aforementioned reasons, he's
Yep.
killed it this year. 2 to Jamar Chase. He's easily the best receiver in the league,
Yep.
and his play proves it. And 3 to my boy Saquon Barkley because he's quite literally had the best season of any running back ever in the history of the NFL. Broke the record for total yards, including playoffs this year.
I think that, and I'm not saying this as a joke, I think OJ Simpson had the best season of a running back ever. He had 2,000 yards in 14 games.
Okay.
But then he kind of ruined it for obvious reasons.
What,
Look, Saquon's still got time to ruin it.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen.
You can't,
I don't know if he's going to go the OJ route.
You can't sit in the back of a Bronco. It's just going for a normal drive.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, like
Cruising. The guy's no
he
fit,
was
bro.
he was instrumental in the Eagles. Maybe not on Super Bowl day, but for the whole season, he was
Oh,
instrumental in.
I would still say he was instrumental that
Yeah.
they had to stop him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Brock.
The
That's
way
actually
they
a
had
fair
to stop
call.
him affected everything else.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
Scotty,
Yeah,
give
like I
us
said,
yours.
he broke the total yards record for regular season and playoffs. You got to give it to him.
And 2,000 yard rusher for the 9th time ever.
Mm.
If it's anyone, if it wasn't for the great
Pretty stiff for
quarterback
Henry.
play,
Henry would have got it with a few more carries. He ended up. What did he end up on, Brock? 1,800 or
I'm
something
looking it
yards.
up right now.
He should have got
I
it too. I
had-
think Henry.
yeah,
I had Henry for 1 vote. He had a very good year that got outshadowed by an exceptional year.
Yep.
fair.
I had Jamar Chase for 2. The Triple Crown should not be sneezed at.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
And it was a little bit disappointing that the Browns probably didn't win enough games because I think
The Bengals. Yep.
oh, sorry, the Bengals.
Yep.
Because I think that the fact that the Saquon was the driving force for the Eagles to finish with 15 wins was the reason why I gave him the 3 votes over
Yeah.
Jamar Chase.
Yep.
So I think if the Bengals had have probably won 10 or 11 games, I think the Triple Crown is more impressive than 2,000 yards rushing.
I think Jamar Chase, and I could be wrong, is one of the only player to ever win the Triple Crown and not get Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it might have been Sterling Sharp. I think we discussed this the other night. It might have been Sterling Sharp.
Yeah,
it was Sterling Sharp Senior, yes.
Yeah, he didn't win it because obviously Cooper Kupp did a couple of years ago and won it in a landslide. I'm going to say my votes I initially gave, and then Brock made me change them.
Why?
So you'll know why in a second.
Oh.
It was only for voting purposes. I did 1 vote Barkley, Saquon. I did 2 votes Saquon Barkley, and I did 3 votes Saquon.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that motherfucker was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
If he wasn't, the only reason he wasn't the MVP is because the quarterback play was so good this year from
Sure.
a few guys.
Yep.
If he had this season last year, he would have won the MVP. Like,
well, McCaffrey should have won
he,
it last
in
year.
fairness, CMC should have, but he
Yeah.
blew CMC out of the water last year.
Mm.
Like it was Brock just gave you a look back because of Lamar.
Because he knows I'm right.
Yeah.
No,
The
he-
second best running back won the MVP last year.
Brock, he's right.
Yes.
He's right. Brock can't argue with that. He's right.
And
CMC should have won it.
And then I had to change them just for the voting purposes. I did Derrick Henry 1, Jamar Chase 2, and Saquon Barkley 3, just for all the same reasons. I think we got a unanimous. We got a unanimous.
We got a unanimous. It goes to Saquon and his
We
own
get
line.
unanimous, and we.
What a beautiful
all
photo.
voted you got Brock Bowers. That was the only difference. We all voted the same.
At one vote. I had to sneak him in there because he had a fucking
That
great
was-
year, man.
Awesome
Unbelievable year.
Year. Awesome year. There's Saquon, but let's get to the big one, the MVP award. I'll start us off. George, you're going last for this one for obvious reasons.
Why
You're
obvious
going
reasons?
last. You're going last.
Why
Um,
obvious? This is a bullshit right here.
I had 1 vote, Lamar Jackson. I had 2 votes, Saquon Barkley, and I had 3 votes, Josh Allen.
Nice.
I think. Do you want to let's all give our awards before we talk about the guys for this one.
Sure.
So I think we're all gonna have the same guys.
Yep.
Scotty, who'd you have?
I had 1 vote for Burrow.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like even his advanced stats were phenomenal. It's just the wins, and I'm sure that's probably what stopped him getting the award really from the people that actually vote for it.
Yep.
I had 2 votes, Lamar. He had a pretty good year. I mean, Brock probably jerks off to all the stats. I don't need to go over it.
Oh, I absolutely do.
He's got him ready.
And then 3 votes, Big Dick Josh Allen.
Yep.
So
Rocky, who'd you have?
So I had 1 vote to Joe Burrow as well. He dominated this year. Like I said, if that defense was any good, they're a playoff team, and then probably he's in the chat.
defense and kicker.
Yes.
Yeah, literally.
I had 2 votes for Lamar Jackson, and that hurt me to do. And I had 3 votes for Josh Allen.
Big Joe.
What the fuck was that? Are you having a stroke, bro?
Josh Allen likes the Zin.
Yeah.
He's a Zin boy.
Shout out.
He likes Zin and pretty white girls.
Hey,
Loves the
Don't
citrus.
we all?
What a combo.
Loves the citrus. Loves the citrus.
Georgie, give us yours.
I gave 1 vote to Saquon Barkley.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, who'd you give 3 votes to then?
Oh, we'll get to it. Let him go one at a time. He must
Jesus
have.
Christ.
I'm just assuming. Okay,
I'm
keep going.
assuming Hurts is 3.
I gave 1 to Saquon Barkley.
Yes.
Again, he had a great year. I gave 2 to Josh Allen because, he had a great year.
No.
I gave 3 to Joe Burrow.
Not.
Oh,
Oh, you've 3.
I gave 3 to Joe Burrow.
I thought
He was far and away the best quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Far and away.
But you're a guy that loves wins. You love wins.
wins matter.
Wins is a quarterback stat, yeah?
Yeah.
So then how, if wins are a quarterback stat, can Joe Burrow have been the most valuable player this year when they didn't even make the playoffs?
How can wins be held against one player and then not another?
Yeah, because I want to hold the wins gun to Jalen Hurts' head and you won't let me.
I'm not. You can do whatever you want.
So
bro.
then why is Burrow rewarded for not
because
winning?
his play was just that fucking good.
He had like the first, you know what cost them the first game of the season against the Patriots where they scored 12 points against a
Yeah.
terrible Patriots team and lost the game. That was on him. I know the kicker missed a couple of kicks. There was games where he had 3 turnovers, and yeah, I know he's the reason they're in the games as well, but he also is part of the reason they lost games too at times. I don't know. The narrative doesn't add up for me. I'm not even talking about not having Lamar Jackson, whatever. I don't really care.
No,
But
like
the fact that
we
Joe
can,
Burrow,
we can speak about it if you want.
in your mind, why isn't Lamar Jackson in your MVP votes?
Because I don't think that because the MVP is a narrative award,
Mm.
and then in my opinion, the narrative can't be Lamar has 3 MVPs without winning a conference title,
Hey,
I said that before the season started.
without making a Super Bowl.
Hey, George, the votes are done before the playoffs start, though.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
ours aren't though.
No. but
Ours
that's-
are, and
but-
these are my votes.
No, but that's actually a fair narrative.
That's
I
my
agree with
reasoning behind it. Not
Yeah.
because I don't like Lamar or anything like that, or I'm trying to fucking
You're a
stir
hater.
up controversy or whatever.
You're a hater.
It's because winning 3 MVPs and not even making a Super Bowl, let alone winning a Super Bowl, you just can't have that narrative.
Yeah,
in my
I
opinion.
agree. I said that before the season started.
That's
Like,
a
So
fair narrative.
and it's not to say that his level of play wasn't good enough to make my votes. It was.
Yeah.
His level of play was good. It was excellent.
Yeah.
But if I go by my narrative, I can't even give him 1 vote because he doesn't deserve to be in the conversation. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Because he's already won 2.
Because he's already won 2 and he didn't make a Super Bowl, let alone win 1.
So
this year.
if he hadn't won any before, would have he got votes for you this year? If he'd
Yes.
never been, yeah.
Yes.
So your
Yes.
narrative is that he can't win a third.
He can't win a third until he
Unless he
wins a
wins the
ring.
Super
Bowl. That's
Until he
fair.
wins a ring.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think winning a ring. I think I think going to a Super Bowl is enough for a quarterback because Burrow's never won a ring.
Burrow's plays probably better than Lamar's.
This year he was. Joe Burrow was phenomenal this year. That's why I wanted. I wasn't having a shot. I just wanted to get the understanding of it.
Yeah, that was my reason.
And I don't hate that narrative either. I just think that for me, the way Lamar played this year, I watched a lot of Ravens games. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of my love for Brock and wanting to support my little guy.
Thank you.
But I just think watching him play, he statistically passes the test. His offensive, like how productive the offense is, passes the test.
Yep.
And then you watch him, and if they didn't have him, they'd be lost.
You
They
can
would
say
be
that
lost.
literally about the top 10 quarterbacks.
No, and I'm also saying this about the guy who won the award, which I'm assuming Josh Allen is the
Yeah.
runaway winner here. Josh Allen and me and Scotty, we picked him in the
We did.
preseason.
Absolutely.
When all that picture is outstanding.
No,
from
Brock. No.
He has just put up his combine photo
Look
of
at him
Josh
dirty.
Allen. Look at you know what?
There's some hate
Look
running
at the
through you.
pipes on him though. That's a handsome.
That's
son of
a
bitch.
farmer boy
We,
right
we
there.
talk about tractors and trailers.
He's the
He's
ultimate.
the fucking
He's-
Mack truck pulling the
Yes,
circus.
he's definitely the tractor.
Yeah, no
When-
doubt about it.
When they had the
He's-
turnover they had at the start of this season, at first I remember when it all happened, and I was like, the Bills are stuffed. They've lost so much talent. And then it flipped in my head to be like, no, you know what? They're backing their bell cow
The-
player,
the best player.
which is
Yeah.
Josh Allen, who at his best is one of probably the best player in football, which we're seeing
Well,
now.
at his best, he's the MVP.
He
Like, yeah.
rarely he didn't turn the ball over a lot this year.
which was
I don't
his
think he
biggest knock.
He didn't turn it over in the playoffs. I think he turned over once in the playoffs. I could be correct. I think it was once or zero.
Mm.
It was twice. Sorry, where they were both in the against the Chiefs. Yeah,
they
Yes.
were,
yeah. I think
Technically 3 times he had a fumble in there as well.
yes. Yeah, I think
Two
like,
picks.
later in
Finish
the
your thought, and then I want to add
And then
Tommy
I just think the way he took a team that lost Stephon Diggs, who was, he was a bit of a team cancer, but he was a very good football player and had been very productive for him. They rolled to a rookie, which was Keon Coleman, Shazier as the slot guy, who ended up being one of the most, per target, one of the most successful receivers in the league because of Josh Allen. 2 tight ends, ran the ball, ran with Josh Allen. He literally does everything you could have asked of a guy. He was dinged up for a lot of the season, didn't blink, didn't go, he didn't Anthony Richardson go, I need to take a play off. He was just, this is my team. I'm the leader. Follow me, boys. And that is what, when you put a picture in the dictionary of what a quarterback should be, that is what it should be.
Mhm.
The guy who takes your team and carries you all the way.
everything that you've just said, I agree with
Yep.
110%. Let me add on top now.
Yeah.
The Bengals kicker makes those 2 kicks instead of missing it, and Burrow runs away with it.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
no,
then what
but the
happens if-
Ravens kick it. If Justin Tucker kicks those field goals as well, we beat the Chiefs. We beat Cincy. We beat Pittsburgh.
It's a dangerous game.
You can't play.
I'd still
then
give it to Burrow over
And then
Lamar.
what about the Bills don't throw that last game of the season? They finish with 15 wins or 14 wins.
Yeah, like if you're saying that, like if Justin Tucker if Isaiah Likely toe's not out of bounds and they beat the Chiefs
Can't
early
believe
in
they
the
lost by
year,
a toe. That was
that's what I mean. If he's not out of
fucked.
bounds and they beat the Chiefs early in the
Fucking
year,
Chiefs.
the Bills maybe win the division.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
conference.
They win the conference. Yeah.
Oh. We've had a malfunction.
Yeah, we're back. Jay is just on his fucking phone.
Sorry, had a phone call for some reason at 10 o'clock at night. Anyway, I just think, I think if you go down that dangerous slope of, players, or if they miss this, if they got that, then it affects so much of the other teams as well.
Yeah,
You've got to give it to everyone.
I think with Allen as well, if you look at the other teams, obviously Philly's a phenomenal offense across the board. Bengals have 2 superstar receivers. Lamar has, we all put Henry in the
Yep.
offensive player of the year. Allen's got no one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like they're good players, but not great. They got good tight ends. They've got a good running back.
Mm.
They've got
James Cook's good running back.
Yes,
he's
yeah,
good.
he is, yeah.
but where is he in running backs in the league?
Oh,
5
probably-
to 7?
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
maybe,
somewhere
maybe,
in
yeah.
5 to
Where's
10 somewhere.
Derek? Where's Derek Henry?
Number
2.
2,
Yeah.
2 to 3.
No, I agree. I think Josh Allen was that's why he's a unanimous winner.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
so
fair.
damn good this year. So, I think that's it for the
and
awards.
he's like so handsome.
Oh, he's beautiful and
And he's-
so nice. When he got his MVP and they had the
Oh.
kids at the hospital talking about him,
Yeah.
like there are just guys you want to root for in this world,
Yeah.
isn't there? And Josh Allen's one.
So we gave that Bill's worker gifted him a car, the mailroom guy or whatever.
Yeah,
Isn't
and
it
then
when he-
mentioned him in his
He
speech.
shouted him out of the speech. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just. I imagine every single person in that building when you mention Josh Allen's name, is just like, oh man, what
We love him.
And it's
the
not
best guy
that
ever.
building, it's that city, that community. He is their guy. They root for him. It doesn't matter if he's the MVP. Like they literally said, doesn't matter. He's our MVP. He's our guy. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Baltimore doesn't do the same thing with Lamar. He's a high character guy. Like, but Allen's just that little bit next level where it's just so naturally, it just comes to him. He's so humble about it.
Yeah, and in terms of the narrative, Josh Allen fit the bill perfectly this year as
Yeah.
well. Like it was his turn. I
Yep.
feel like it was just really his turn.
Yeah.
And again, didn't even make the All Pro team, which again I think was right. I think the All Pro team was right. Mate, they probably could have gone with Burrow, but I think Josh Allen as the MVP is 100%
Yeah.
correct, and it's probably the one thing the NFL got really right this year.
No, I think the PS2 deep
And
was
PS2,
right.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But like you said, narrative. It's a narrative award.
And Burrow won his second comeback player of the
And,
year.
and,
so
and
he's
going
sweet.
back to the narrative, that's why I didn't give Lamar a vote, because you can't win a third one without proven playoff performances. Like
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
he's really got to take that next step in the
He-
playoffs next year.
For Lamar, coming into this season, for Lamar to win it, he had to literally break QB records
Yeah.
to win it.
Yeah,
He
because
had
of the
to-
last two. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, because not a slight on him, and it was not a coin flip, but he deserved to be in the conversation.
Yep.
But the narrative went against him.
Yeah.
100%. All right, I think that's it. That's our awards. Guys, if you've listened to this, shoot us a message. Let us know what we got wrong, what we got right. Actually, don't worry what we got right. It's just what we got wrong. Hit us with some wrong stuff.
Oh, fuck you. We're never wrong.
All the people who have been commenting on Instagram and TikTok and all that, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we love the comments.
The clips are great. And the only person I am going to give a massive shout out to
Oh.
is our boy David Holmes.
Has anyone? Is he? Can we confirm?
Well,
Is he
So,
alive?
I just want the floor from in on David Holmes.
Please go.
I stuck up for you a little bit, David, but the fact that when the Chiefs lost, you not only blocked the Vault Studio on all social media, including Instagram, which we didn't even chat with you on. I checked. He blocked us all personally, so no one could reach out to him. That's a gutless fucking move,
I
and
reckon
it
I can reach out
shows.
to him.
Yeah, and yeah, Scotty probably can. And then I think he's on Grinder, and it shows
I'll match him.
shows
Wow.
that David Holmes, you are a massive pussy.
Yeah.
And you are not a real fan, because a real fan would have just turned around and gone, nah, Eagles were too good.
Cop
Cop it on the chin and move on.
Exactly.
Especially after winning 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Yeah.
You twat. So I stuck up for you. Fuck you, man. You're a tool.
Yep.
All right,
Spot
Brocky.
on, Jay. I love it. Thank you.
Peace out to everyone, guys. We'll see you next. Oh, also, we're doing a show next week. We're going to take a week off. We're never leaving.
Nah,
See you next Tuesday,
I'm not
everyone.
going to leave.